And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from our high top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all the biggest news around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, across the wide world of sports. And guys, welcome to Thursday night, October the 2nd, in the year of our good Lord, 2025. And we've been off for a week, and we're happy to be back. And looking forward to a show. Lots going on in sports. You know, football season's here, and I got to be honest. I don't have a musical. Do I have any music? I don't even think I have a music topic for tonight. We got a little hockey. We got a lot of football. We got some baseball. A lot of NFL, obviously. We are expecting a guest tonight. The return of the Dr. Thumb Chaser himself, who may actually come on and try to explain what happened to his Mets. Not sure you can explain it, but he will try. In the meantime, I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad you guys are tuned in with us tonight. And we'll be bringing Jeff on in a second. I don't see my dad yet, but he could have fell asleep or forgotten. I'm not sure. We'll see if he pops up. Real quick, since we've been gone, we've had the whole Charlie Kirk and Jimmy Kimmel controversy. Listen, I don't care about Jimmy Kimmel. His ratings suck. All I'll say is this. For all you people who thinks that Jimmy Kimmel should have stayed on the air, that's fine. Where were you when Roseanne got booted off the air? Where were you when Tucker Carlson got booted off the air? Okay? Jimmy Kimmel, yeah, he could say whatever he wants, right? That's a free speech. Okay? But it was in poor taste. And he did lie. He flat out lied. Because he tried to blame it. He said he tried to blame it. Pussy. He should get his face punched in. All right? But that's a different story. But Jimmy Kimmel is inconsequential. Nobody watches Jimmy Kimmel. Nobody. You think Stephen Colbert got no ratings? Jimmy Kimmel's below him. So, you can listen to all you want. Jimmy Kimmel's a piece of shit. Second, Howard Stern's a jerk off. That's two. And okay, if you live in New Jersey and you don't vote for Jack Ciattarelli, you are a fool. If you haven't watched this Mikey Sherrill, she's got nothing to say. She wants, all of this. I have people in my family who thinks that Phil Murphy's done a nice job, and he hasn't. Okay, we're a sanctuary state, crime's up in the bigger cities, and our electric bills are out of control. And why? Because they've invested in windmills and solar and all this other crap that don't work, okay? And she wants to make it worse. She says, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fix that. No, she's not. She's going to invest more money in that stuff, and we are going to pay even more money. So please, do a smart thing for a change. All of you don't want to vote Republican in New Jersey people. I don't get it. We've had 8 years of Murphy. Our taxes are still sky high. Our gas is sky high. Okay? And it's better. It was 40 cents higher not too long ago. So it's creeping down, but it ain't creeping down fast enough. The problem is they want to stick us with windmills and solar, and it just doesn't work, folks. Please vote Jack Ciattarelli. Let's try a Republican for a change, because these Democrats are terrible. And if you don't believe me, just do some homework. I always say it. And if you live in New York City and you vote for Zohran Mamdani, all you're helping is my Florida real estate property value, because everybody's going to run out of here. So that guy is a menace to society, and any human being who thinks you're going to wind up with anything for free, just read what that guy talks about. Just read it. Okay? He wants to re-educate your children. Okay, yeah. The next wave of jihadists. He wants to replace cops with social workers. Okay, cheap groceries, state-run grocery stores. Ex-Kansas, how that's worked out. Go to ex-Cuba, how that works out. How about Russia? Ask them how that's all worked out. People. The only thing you're going to do by voting in a democratic socialist to be mayor of New York City is guaranteeing that President Trump will have 4 years of a Congress and a Senate controlled by the Republicans, because the minute people see what this guy in New York's going to do, holy hell, the rest of the country. So God bless you. If you're going to be voting for Mayor Mondami and the future AOC president, good luck to you. I'll be living in the moon. Okay, I'm done with my political rants for the day. It's great to be back, and that's why we have the mics. That's why we control the mics, so we can have the bully pulpit for 5 minutes. But we got to get to much more pressing things. Bad football teams, up and coming football teams in New York. We got 2 of them. We got Yankee baseball. We got no Mets baseball. All right. We got hockey's kicking off the season next week. Basketball's exhibition season's kicking off now. We got a lot of stuff. So let's get this show rolling. Let's get Jeff on. Maybe we'll go through some of the standings at the quarter point of the season, see what we think and where we're at, who's playing well and who's not. And let's get the show started. So, again, we can only get the show started one way and one way only, and that's by bringing on my buddy and my buddy of 40 years plus, closing around 45, by the way, Mr. Jeff Blackest Sabbath. What's up, man?
What's up?
Not much. What's going on? Let's start it off the right way, Jeff. How was your week and weeks?
Well, Tom, it was going good until today.
Oh, yeah? What happened today?
And then today the bottom fell out.
Oh, God. What happened now?
Well, let me explain.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't give a fuck less about fantasy football.
Oh, boy.
I could not care less about fantasy football.
Okay. So why?
Just Frank knows I don't care. I hope Denver loses every game. I hope the Mets go 0-3,000 over the next couple of years.
Well, they just might. Until
things get right in my life.
So is this because your FedEx package didn't get delivered? Is this why?
Yeah, exactly. These motherfuckers told me that this fucking thing would be here today. Okay.
Now, is your new base?
Yes.
And this has got you all screwed up.
All screwed up? Oh. So this is what happened. I ordered it on last Saturday.
Yeah, Frankie, go to his house. I think he needs a hug.
And then they couldn't send it out till Monday. They sent it out on Monday, and they said it would be here Thursday. Well, today is Thursday. And they said, do you want me to sell it, send it, signature or no signature? And I'm like, no signature. I live 2 minutes away. I says, I'm going to watch it all day, and then I'll just run and I'll go get it, right? So I'm sitting there watching on phone. Every 10, 15 minutes I'm watching. All of a sudden, I see a picture pop up, and I'm like, oh, it's there. But then I look at the picture. I'm like, that's odd. I didn't order a case. Why is it in a case? Well, it wasn't a case. It was a picture of my front door with the tag on it that said that they couldn't leave it because there was nobody to sign for it. Meanwhile, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I said it had specifically had it sent, no signature required. Okay?
Right.
Well, then the fun starts.
Oh,
now
boy.
I'm on the phone with everybody in FedEx. I'm complaining. I'm like, why can't I even had the place that I bought it from call up FedEx? And I'm like, what the fuck? So they called up FedEx, and FedEx told them when they have a package, your package is number 4 online. They get to your house, you're not there to sign for it, off they go. They don't come back around. They make one hit a day.
But even though you said you didn't need to sign for it, they still want you to sign for it.
Exactly.
Okay.
That being said, these fucking guys, they fucking went past my house. I missed them by minutes, not even. Okay. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I called up FedEx. I'm screaming at the woman on the phone on FedEx. And she says, oh, I'm gonna see what we could do. I'm gonna see what we could do. Meanwhile, they said, our commitment says tomorrow. I'm like, no, there is no commitment. No, the commitment was for tomorrow, Friday. I'm like, then why did they show up at my house today? What commitment was for today? Why would they show? Would he just have an extra package on the truck? Hey, let's see if this guy's home. We'll drop it off. I says, and if the motherfucker knew how to read, he would have saw that you just dropped the motherfucking thing off. Right?
Yeah.
So then after I get done yelling and screaming at the woman, she was like, oh, sir, this may be the wrong time to ask, but would you be interested in taking a short survey? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You want me to take a fucking survey?
Wow.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And no, I did not get them. I didn't get anybody. I just got fucking annoyed. So now this base is somewhere, who knows where, in Jersey or some shit, or wherever the FedEx truck is parked, with this base in the fucking truck. So it was warm all day, being baked in the fucking in the heat, and now it's getting a little cold. I don't know if it's going to be chilly, but it's going to get a little chilly tonight.
Right.
I'm just like, you cocksucker. If I saw anybody, even with a FedEx uniform, I may be in jail right now. I was like, you motherfucker, what a bunch of jerk offs. And I said, let me ask you something. And then they tell me that I paid for the cheap freight or cheap shipping.
Right.
I'm like, no. This is the shipping that the place I bought the base from. This is what they chose. I only paid what they told me to pay.
Right.
How is this cheap? And I'm like, and what difference? They said, well, we can't get in touch with the guy because you didn't you picked the cheap shipping. I'm like, no, I didn't pick. This is what they told me. I says, well, you're telling me in one breath, you're telling me that you can't get in touch with the driver. Then in the next breath, you're telling me that if I paid the premium price, then you would be able to get in touch with the driver. I says,
the premium price wasn't even offered to you.
Exactly. And not only that, I said, it's 2025. You're telling me that you guys can't get in touch with the driver. You can email the hub where this base came from, get somebody on emails. Oh, Joe's driving that route today. Joe, go back to that house and be careful. The guy wants to kill you. Okay? And drop the fucking thing off. But, listen.
I get it. I went through it with something I bought my wife, and it was part of a special gift and all this other stuff. And they literally, I said, in this day and age, you're telling me you can't contact the driver to tell him you have this very expensive package on his truck that's absolutely needed, and to either get it back to here or get it back to the place he was supposed to deliver it. And they go, oh, no, we can't do that. We're not able. I said, that's bullshit. You just don't want to.
I don't have one in front of me because my keys are downstairs. I have Apple tags on my keys.
Right.
So that if I lose my keys, I can find them with my iPhone.
Right.
You don't have anything. You can't even say where the truck is. I can understand you telling me you can't tell me where the truck is.
Absolutely. Right.
You may be afraid that I'm going to go rob the truck or something
100%.
like that.
Right.
Okay. But you can't turn around and say, let me call you this. Let me make a few calls. We'll get back in touch with you.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. It's ridiculous.
Chris, I spoke to so many people there today. I told them I'm going to call up every hour until the thing comes. They see my number now. They're like, "Hey, Jeff."
Well, so what are they promising you now? So is it on its way at least? I mean, are they telling you to be there tomorrow?
It's within 10 miles of my house, I guess. I don't know.
That does you no good.
Yeah, I was fucked. I'm fucking livid. I'm
sure you were. Got your whole big new base. What's it, number 15, 16?
14.
14. Wow, look at you. Wow.
Yeah, that's okay because I'm getting text messages from Ellie now.
From who?
Ellie.
Who the hell is Ellie?
I have no idea, but she's nice enough. She's a nice enough person, and she wants to give me a loan for $70,000, only $700 a month. I may reach out for this, man. I don't know.
It's funny. The other day, I don't know what it was, but I got a text message, and it said, "Hey, so and so, it said, hey, you, are we still on for lunch today?" And I said, "Sorry, I think you have the wrong number. I don't know who this is." And they came back, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking for so and so, but you sound so nice." And I said, "Okay, block, goodbye."
Yeah.
That's the old. Let me be nice to you. Pretend I'm some woman who I'm now going to flirt with you, and like I was born yesterday. You should call.
I should have told you to just sit at my house. You're retired, bro. You could have sat there and fucking waited for the base.
There you go. Listen, I'm sure it'll show up tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be thrilled. You'll be home. Are you home tomorrow?
I'm home tomorrow, but to be honest with you, tomorrow, right? I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm supposed to be going out. Actually, I'm going to go meet Chris tomorrow at the Great Kills Yacht Club. There's an event there that I'm going to go hang out, take my wife to. I guarantee you that the base is going to come late in the afternoon so that I could take it, put it in the house, and then not play with it until Saturday. That's I mark my fucking words. That's what's going to happen.
Well, listen, we can only hope it shows up at 8 a.m. so you have a full day in the house.
I even said to this fucking asshole on the phone, okay? I says, let me ask you something. Suppose this stuff that I'm waiting for, okay? I said, which is an expensive item that's bouncing around in a truck, that's been in a truck for the last 3 or 4 days. Suppose this was medical supplies, and I need these medical supplies today, and I need them right now. So you're telling me that I'm fucked. Well, sir, I'm sorry, but we just can't get in touch with the driver. Oh, okay. So 2025, we could do all of this stuff with cell phones, but yet you can't call the driver.
Yeah, they can. They just don't. They just make it a policy not to do it. That's all.
Of course, I know that. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but I'd rather. You know what? I would rather you say, hey, if we did this for every human being who missed a package, the driver would be going in circles all day. We're not allowed to do it. Well, I would respect that.
If the fucking driver followed directions, then he wouldn't have to do this every.
Well, that's the difference. The difference is, hey, you screwed it up, and I believe me, I went through it. I paid a ton of money to get something delivered really fast, and it didn't show up. I wound up getting the money back from the people I bought it from because ultimately it's their problem. But it was. If I tell you, I went to 3 different New Jersey depots where my package had spent 5 minutes, and then finally got to the point where they took pity on me. I think it was in Edison or one of those places, and I said, please, when he gets here, just hold it and call me. That's all I'm asking. And I explained what it was for, and they were like, okay. And they actually did. And then when I showed up, they messed with me and said, oh, it's just stuff with the driver. They were messing with me. And I got it. But
they were messing with you? They actually had the balls to mess with
you? Yes. It took me 2 days to track down something, and I drove all over New Jersey harassing people to try to get this. So anyway, I know I feel your pain. I feel your pain. So, let's hope we can probably put it behind us for tonight and do a show, Jeff. We got a lot to talk about.
I can't fucking put it behind me for tonight. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to put it behind me until I'm fucking sitting here looking at it. Then I told my wife, you know what I want to do with it? I want to put it back in the box and send it back. Fuck it. I don't even want it.
You're full of shit. The minute you open it up.
To take it is because if I don't take this one, I can't get another one until sometime in 2026 because they're so back ordered. I can't. This is like the last one available in the fucking country.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's serious.
Well, then when it comes in, cherish it, and wrap your arms around it, enjoy it, and have fun with it. Be nice.
Tongue around it.
And enjoy it. So hopefully it shows up bright and early tomorrow so you can get a couple hours of playing time with it.
Well, I hope they give me enough time to waddle down to the store to get breakfast before they show up. That means I got to get up early tomorrow while my wife is still here so I could go to the fucking store.
There you go. We got a lot to talk about, and not all of it's good for you. So we'll
listen. I already know which way you're going.
You gotta. Well, we're not going to go there yet because I want to get my dad on. Because
I want to tell you before your dad gets on the phone. I'm saying it right here, right now.
Yeah.
I am no longer a New York Jets fan.
Oh yeah. Now, are you rooting for a certain team?
I am
want to wear the blue?
No, I would never fucking root for the.
Are you going to be a Detroit Lions fan? Is that where you're headed?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
What's up, Finelli? Okay, so what team will you be rooting for?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll let that be known soon. But let me put it this way: there's going to be some people that are going to be very happy.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to root.
Yeah.
Nah. I'll let you know in a little bit.
Let's put it this way. I hope it's either the Cowboys, the Eagles, or the Redskins, because you bringing the black cloud over in the mush would only ensure that my big blue continues their ascent.
No. The reason the Jets suck is because Joe Namath sold his soul in January of '69 to win the Super Bowl. And until Joe Namath dies and the devil collects, the Jets are going to suck.
So does Joe have to be sacrificed, or can he just pass away from old age?
If shit doesn't change soon, he's going to get sacrificed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Fuck you, Chris. All right. Fuck you.
All Well, Hard Rocket Sports at Sheffield Tom. Tom, we're going to talk a lot of Mets tonight. We got the doctor supposed to show up if he's got the cojones at 7:30. We'll talk a lot of Giants and Jets. One team on the way up and another team on the way. Well, I should say on the way down. They're already down.
One victory. Really? This is what we're going to fucking do?
Just saying. While I'm at it, I did want to mention that there was a seismic change in the Hard Rock and Sports South Beach Panther fantasy football league. There was a SmackDown happened this week, I believe.
Look, Frank Catalano's not even a Jet fan, and he wants to sacrifice Joe Namath. Stay away from Joe. He's ours.
He's the only thing they got, Frank. You know, Joe's got to stay alive.
Yeah, so listen, I'll push him right into Volcano if it means they're going to fucking rebound.
He's got to check in with his parole officer for what is it?
I'll tell you right now, if we throw Joe Namath into the fucking Volcano, Justin Fields turns into Randall Cunningham.
Listen, Fennell, you got to be optimistic. I like what I saw. We're going to get to it. I'm going to get my dad on, and then we'll get the doctor in, or we'll get to some football. We got a little hockey to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Bad Bunny. We got Robert Saleh getting into fights. He should have gotten more fights with his players last year. We'll get to that. We got a lot to get to, but let's get my pops on, and then we'll get to some other stuff, and let's see if the doctor shows up. What's up, Pop?
Wow.
You got all that? You got
this
all
is
that?
worse than this is like watching Abbott and Costello.
Yes, it is.
You guys are good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff, I know how you feel.
How are you, Florio?
Problems like that. And you wind up screaming at the TV or the phone. And then they want you should have said, yeah, I'd like to take a survey. How I'd like to put my hands around your neck.
Yeah.
Oh, please. I think they knew. They knew. I said other things. I tried to be cool about it, but I couldn't help it.
Well, listen, I can understand it. You know, when you I don't care how old you are. I really don't. When you get to, I don't care. When you buy something, especially something that you're just so itching to get. You know, it ain't like you ordered a pair of socks or a pair of jeans. When you order something for yourself in the realm of what Jeff did, and it doesn't show up when it's supposed to, it definitely feel like an 8-year-old kid at Christmas whose present wasn't under the tree, right?
Well, it's like waking up Christmas morning and there is no presents under the tree, and then Mom and Dad tell you that Santa Claus was in a terrible sleigh accident. There were no survivors.
Yeah, 3 reindeers took it tough.
Yeah.
But I understand it. But Pops, we got a little bit of baseball. It's been a pretty interesting series with the Yankees and the Red Sox. Great game last night for the Yankees. Not so much for the Red Sox.
Very interesting game. Yep. I don't know what Boston had in mind when they took this guy out. He looked like he was pitching a decent game.
Well, you know, they were already down a couple runs, and what you could see it last night, he was going for the win. He pitched everybody last night. Whitlock went 56 pitches. I mean, he pitched everybody. He wanted that game. He did not want to get to game 3. He wanted to get out of New York with the 2-0 and out the door, and he went for it. And I don't agree with some of his moves, and it blew up in his face because they made a ton of mistakes. You know, they blew the bunt, popped it up in the air, dropped the ball in left field. The guy didn't score for first on Chisholm's play at second base. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of things that the Red Sox did wrong last night, and it cost them the game. But I don't like Cora, but I'll give him credit. He said, "I'm going for it," and I wouldn't have took the guy out either, to be honest with you. But I understand what he did not want to fall behind at that point more than the 2-0. So he made the move. So you got to give him credit. He died with it, but you got to give him credit for trying. So
I thought the first base play was just totally stupid.
Yeah.
You take no shot. You go right for the. I don't know why they held him up.
Well, it was 2 outs, so he should have just been running. But I understand, you know, at that point you're at third base, and while I understand everybody on the radio today said, well, he should have just kept running. Well, yeah, but what if the ball bounced and he didn't know where it was, which he said he didn't know where it was, and it was right at the guy's feet, and he picks up and throws him out the plate. Now you've killed the rally. The guy's on first base, and now you're getting thrown out at home from first base. So I understand it. He says he didn't see the ball. So I get it. When you don't see the ball, you don't know where it is. You kind of hesitate. Once you hesitate, that's it. So while you would hope he was aggressive and went for it, if you're the Red Sox, I also understand why he didn't. So
It was a good game.
Yes,
Very
it was
interesting.
yeah.
And I never gave Cora the credit for playing maneuver.
Yeah. Crochet will pitch. Let me tell you something. If you're the Red Sox, if you're the Yankees, if you need a big out in the 8th inning and it's a lefty, I'll go to Fried. If I'm Boone, I'll go to Fried. You know what? He ain't pitching the first night anyway. The next series, but you got to get there. So yeah, Crochet's up there. I'm sure Fried's up there tonight. The only one who will not pitch tonight would be Rodon because he pitched last night. Other than that,
pitched a hell of a game.
he pitched okay. Yeah, he had a couple of moments. He kind of lost it in the 6th, and all of that. But listen, 3 runs in that game. You got 6 innings. Today's baseball, it's not bad. So good for him, and should be a really good game. 8:00 start tonight. I didn't like the fact that it was an 8:00 start. I wish it was another early start.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Okay,
it.
I don't know if I can hang till 11 o'clock tonight. We'll see. But,
I'm going to let you guys
Here
go.
we go. Here we go. The bullshit starting.
What's bullshit? I got to work. Some of us have to work in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I can't stay up. Oh, man, I got to go to bed early. I ain't going to be able to play football tonight. I got to go to bed early.
Some of us have real jobs that have to go to work.
Jeff, if you need help with the FedEx man, I'm available.
Send your wife.
Well, nobody deserves
That's
that. Nobody deserves that.
All right, take care, Tom.
All right, Pops. I'll see you Saturday. Yep, I'll see you Saturday.
Take care.
All right, Pops. That's my daddy checks in every week, and guy, we should have some good baseball tonight. Should be an interesting game.
40 years ago, your father would have been the one that I would have asked to help me with this.
Yeah.
Just stand there and look at him. Meanwhile, the FedEx man would have been like, "What do you want? What do you want me to do? What do you want?"
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Dad could melt you down with a stare from across the room.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Believe it, I tell you. But all right, so we're hoping that the doctor will show up. He hasn't shown up.
I can't wait no more. I don't care about the doctor right now. I have bigger questions to ask. What is this? There's been a change in the world over there. What are you talking about?
Change in what world?
In the Madden world.
Change in the Madden world. In the league, you lost. I'm talking about the fantasy league.
Okay. Oh, the fantasy league.
Yeah, fantasy league. You got smacked around by a certain Frank Catalano.
I'm 2-2. After 4 weeks, I'm 2-2 in 9th place. Somebody else I know is like 12th place.
I don't know who that is. I am in 11th
place.
Yeah. And I got my first W this week, and I'm about, again, much like a team that wears blue in MetLife Stadium. I am on the rise. I am on the ascend. I am reaching for the mountaintop early. Last year I was 0-4 and then made my move at the end. This year we start early. We started after week 3. We are 1-3 and we are ascending big time. Now,
that means you would have fizzled out earlier this year.
Now, it does mean I did take a beating. Malik Neighbors is out for the year. That hurt. I get graded.
You have Romeo Dobbs?
I do.
Damn.
Because he had
like a fantasy career day.
Wait, I picked up Kenneth Gainwell from the Steelers last minute, and he got 37 points.
Where did who? Romeo Dobbs?
No, he's talking about me. I moved up to 5th place. You were in the rearview mirror last year, Mr. Catalano. I don't know where you moved, but you moved backwards. I moved up
Listen,
to 5th place.
Be careful. This motherfucker scored like 180 points on me. I think I had like 6. I don't even know what happened.
I scored 200 and something points this week.
Jesus Christ. Did you start Romeo Dobbs?
I started, and luckily I did because that's what got me to win. His last touchdown and a couple passes after gave me the win. I won by like 10 points.
I picked up, every year I pick up somebody that leapfrogs in there.
Yes.
I might have made the pick. I might have made the steal of the offseason.
Who'd you pick?
I picked the new running back for Arizona, for the Cardinals.
Okay.
All their running backs are getting hurt.
Yes. Yeah. Connors is out. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
So I ended up getting this guy, and it's looking promising.
Okay.
And I took Mason Taylor too. I picked him up, and man, I had my team was so bad that I had first crack at anybody.
Oh, yeah, I needed to fix the quarterback room. Luckily, I was about halftime Sunday, and the Buccaneers were getting killed, and Baker Mayfield had like 3 points. Second half, they lit it up. They lost, but he lit it up, and I wound up coming back. And then I had benched Michael Penix for him, and he had a big day. Thank God Baker Mayfield wound up having a 42-point day. But I had my first W. We made some moves this week. We had to cut Neighbors because he won't be back. And
he's gone. What a shame, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see the play of Tyreek Hill?
Yes, I was watching it.
And what his leg looked like?
Oh my God! But what I found funny about the whole thing was him at the hospital, like smiling, like and the memes that come out, like they had like a whole bunch of nurses pretending to be pregnant. Tyreek Hill after surgery. It was hysterical stuff. But him talking about himself in the third person by his nickname.
I know. I saw some of that, but you know what? He's getting $25 million to sit on his sofa for the rest of the year. And they said, depending on what roster move they make with him, he can make more money.
Oh my God.
Read that on fucking ESPN. This guy's not even playing. He may make more money for being out, like as a roster bonus. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding. 25 million plus, and he's not doing anything.
Yeah. Did you see the cartoon I put up on our group?
Dude, that thing moves so fast. I have to. I don't even.
It was him. It was him with his sitting on a bar stool with his leg facing up.
Yeah. I saw that.
Oh my God! With it was him, Tua with his eyes crossed.
Yep.
and Coach doing dumps and bumps. That was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. Tommy, you had me 8 points, than me. I don't understand what Frankie wrote. Tommy, you had 8 points more than me. Maybe that's what he meant. More than me, Frank. If I have one more point than you, it's enough. All I need is 1 point. Eight. If it's 880 or 800, I still have more points. That's all that matters. One more point is all I go for. Anyway,
new partner with me.
I see that. More. I see it, Frankie. Yeah, I don't care if it's 880 or 800. It's still more. That's all that matters, baby. You're in the rearview mirror. All I know is I'm driving and you're in the back.
He's in a different state.
Yeah. So let's talk a little Jet. Well, before we get to Shedeur, did you see the Shedeur Sanders interview this week where he was mouthing his response?
He was miming his money.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something. That guy might be the most arrogant jerk off I've ever seen in any sport. He could. Yeah, I understand you got more than me right now. It's very close, Frank. I'm not bitching and complaining. You'll be in the rearview mirror soon enough. But if you're the Cleveland Browns, how do you not just put him on the inactive roster and let him rot away the rest of his career?
Well, he pretty much is on the inactive roster, Tom. He's fucking, he's our third quarterback.
Yeah, Flacco, who's 2 steps ahead of the Undertaker at this point in time, is still ahead of him on the depth chart. I mean, that's pretty bad.
While we got Frank there, I'm looking at I have the standings right now.
Yep, I got him in front of me
on
too.
The board. And we got Frankie Muley in first, Joe Fro in second, 80s Rock Forever. That's Matt, right?
That's Matt.
And okay, there's Frank Catalano with 2-2, tied with me, by the way, at 2-2. And then you're in 11th place right now.
Yep, I'm 1 game back. Yep.
Yeah. 1 game back. Yeah, right.
Yep.
I've won 2 in a row. I've lost 1 in a row. Frank Catalano won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And there you are. You won 1 in a row, man. It's
Yep.
Waiver, your number right now 7 on the waiver wire.
That's true. I just made some moves this week. I'm moving up. I got a good feeling about this week's games. I got some good players in there. We're ready to go, and was ready to start ascending up, just like a certain team wearing blue in MetLife Stadium, just like a certain team that's ascending in MetLife Stadium, Jeff.
All right, listen, man, I'm happy for you, Tom. I'm happy for you. You got Jackson Dart.
Yep.
Who isn't going to have anybody to throw the ball to soon if they keep.
Yeah, it's very true. I would tell you, here's what I'll tell you. I ran into 2 people who I didn't know this week from work, and they both are Giant fans. I met them separately, first time. And it came up in the conversation that, football fans and Giant, and they told me that they were at the game Sunday. And the one thing they both said to me independently was, when you walked in the stadium, there was just a different buzz. Like, you didn't feel like you were walking in to all right, here we go again. It was, you know what? There's a little more energy. Doesn't mean it's good you're going to win, obviously. And I watched the game. Oh, I watched it. I DVR'd it because I was away and I couldn't see it while I was in Florida. But, it wasn't the greatest quarterback performance I've ever saw. Thanks, Weezy. But it was a lot of energy. He didn't make a ton of mistakes. I thought the rest of the team, Jeff, which was impressive to me, looked like they just turned up their game. The defense finally showed up. They beat a good team. They beat the Chargers, a team that's been playing very well. And they played well enough, and they eked out a 21-18 victory. And what I really love about the team right now is the defensive line, and I love this kid Scatterbo. I don't know if you watch much of this kid play, but boy, oh boy, he's going to be in the league for about 3 years. He's going to be in the league for about 3 years, and then he will be in lifetime concussion protocol, and then he will be have his brain removed for CTE inspection.
But if there's any brain left.
Yeah, but for 3 years, this kid is a ton of fun to watch play football. He runs hard. He'll run around you. He'll run through you. He'll run over you. It's a lot of fun to watch.
It's hard you got to give credit where credit is due, and he definitely is out there. He plays hard. Yep. But that's part of the problem. He plays hard.
Yeah.
And at his size, maybe he shouldn't play as hard. If you want to see your second contract.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. I agree with you. He's obviously going to pay the price when he's about 26 years old. He'll be walking with canes and crutches.
He ain't gonna be able to spell his name. Are you fucking kidding me?
But I have to tell you, he plays hard. He's quicker than I thought he was. He still makes a little bit of mistakes on maybe hitting the hole too hard and not reading things a little bit well, but that's okay. I love the enthusiasm.
He reminds me of fucking Danny Woodhead, man.
Okay.
I hated fucking Danny Woodhead. Hated him.
Yeah, you know what? It's the same style, Matt. But the problem with Jacob, the problem in the comparison is Jacobs was a physical fit. Jacobs would run over anybody and everybody. This kid's not necessarily going to run you over. Kind of what Jeff said. He's not that big. He's just compact, and he's a monster, and he runs viciously, and I love it. But he's not going to lower his head and knock a linebacker consistently back. Jacobs was a monster. I've never seen anybody that runs the foot. Even Earl Campbell probably was a step. Earl Campbell was the best I ever watched in that regard. But anyway, it was fun, and it was a nice victory, and it was a buzz watching the game. And can they build on it? Maybe. But I think to your point, losing Neighbors really hurt. I mean that's a tough injury. You got to hope that Robinson steps up and Slayton steps up, and I hear all sorts of rumors.
A lot of people step up.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of rumors that I heard a rumor this week, saw one this week in writing that the Packers are willing to unload Romeo Doubs, and they were talking to the Giants about it. That's actually going. Marion Barber had kind of the same thing. So yeah, if the Giants could pull off a trade for a veteran guy of that ilk, who a year from now could be the number 2 receiver, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be pretty cool.
Time
So,
will tell.
yep, absolutely.
Have to do something. But, well, I know. Listen, I know that Neighbors just got hurt.
Yeah.
That was like a non-contact injury too, right? Like he just twisted
Yeah.
his leg or something.
Yeah, he was kind of pushing off. He was like running down the sideline. He was kind of fading to the inside, and he was trying to like push off to the end, jump and like kind of outmaneuver the corner. And you could see as soon as he went up, he pulled his hands down, and actually could have looked like he tried to make a play for. And he was kind of reaching right for his knee, and you could see that he was done. And listen, a lot of people are complaining that field, and it's been that way for years, that turf field needs to be grass and get rid of the turf. And the Giants over the years, the Jets too. I mean, they just lost Braylon Allen. That they have a lot of. Yeah, I think it is for the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Christ.
But yeah, and we'll get to the Jets in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see them go. They tell me that like Notre Dame Stadium, some of these college stadiums have grass that feels like you're landing on a pillow. So I think it's time for the Giants to maybe invest. And Giants and the Jets, they share the stadium and come up with a better turf or a better field for the players, because the Giants and the Jets have an exorbitant amount of non-contact injuries. So
yeah, well, you know what? Excuse me.
Yep.
Non-contact injuries
Yep.
seem to be more and more common
Yes.
in the NFL nowadays. And I think a lot of these guys, I think more of them getting hurt knee injuries, non-contact, than actual contact. I mean, Tyreek Hill, when he got tackled, he looks like he got run over by a car.
Yeah.
That Jet defender went right after it, not went after his leg, but wrapped up his leg big time.
Yep.
But some of these other guys like that you hear about these non-contact injuries, and then you see the replay in them, and you'd be like, man, how the fuck did this guy get hurt? All he did was jump up a little bit, and there he is, falling on the floor, done for the year.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. I think a lot of these non-contact injuries are the result of not playing in the preseason, of guys not getting hit, not getting used, not practicing enough. And it's like anything else. If you don't use a muscle, if you don't build up the muscles around your legs and in your body, you eventually, when you do start to try to play and you play for real, it's just not ready. I think a lot of this has to do. I saw Gruden did one of those little videos, and he was all over it. He said, you don't practice enough, you don't play in the preseason, and then you go out there, in the middle of September in the heat, and now you're trying to play pro football, and your body's just not prepared for it yet.
Oh, listen, there's a lot of ways to think about it, but I mean, ligament injuries are they the same as muscle injuries? Like, how do you prepare a ligament? You could prepare the muscles all you like, but is it going to translate to helping the ligaments? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that. I think maybe my thought would be if you strengthen the muscles around it.
I know exactly what you're saying, but you know what? How many of these guys destroy a knee in college, come into the pros, and like look at Nick Chubb? Didn't he wreck both knees?
Yes.
Since he's been in the NFL, and then there's a couple other backs. I mean, they're still playing. Like, it's not something they can't come back from. They'll be out for the year,
sure,
but they could come back. Yeah. And sometimes it takes them more than a season to get back into playing shape. But they are able to do it. But some of these guys, man, they just holy shit! I wouldn't. Unbelievable.
No, you're 100% correct, and it's just a lot. And I think that they should definitely. There's got to be something to it that these guys are top flight athletes, and there seem to be more and more injuries than we're used to. Now, maybe guys just played through them back in the day. I don't know. Maybe they don't hit as hard back in the day as they do now. Maybe the bodies are just bigger and they're not able to contort. I have no idea. There just seems to be a lot of injuries, and especially a lot of non-contact injuries. That's my opinion, of course.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a ton of non-contact injuries.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. So again, there's a lot to talk about. I want to do a little Mets stuff, but I'm guessing the doctor's not coming. I sent him out a message. He has not responded. I sent him out the link. He's not responded. So I want to get to some before we get to the Jets. I do want to talk about the Mets a little bit, and I don't know how you explain it. If you're a Met fan out there, I need you to explain how this $500 million team didn't make the playoffs. Was an embarrassment to themselves in the second half of the season. Couldn't beat the Nationals or the Marlins when it mattered, and let a Reds team who had no business making the playoffs make the playoffs. Jeff, I wanted to ask Carmine this, and you're not the right guy for this. So if any of you guys out there, Met fans, Matt, Frank, is this, some people call this the worst collapse in baseball, and I disagree. I think there's definitely way bigger collapses than this.
I don't know. I mean, the Mets have had a couple collapses over the course of their lifetime.
Listen, 100%. But given the fact that they were 2 games from the World Series last year, given the fact that they spent all this money in the offseason, bringing in just Soto, not counting a couple other players, this could be the most disappointing Met season. Now, I'm not a Met fan, so I can't say it. So I don't know how the Met fans think, Jeff, but let's put it this way. Do you know the Mets brought in one of the game's best hitters, if not top 3 of currently, and yet they scored 2 less runs this year than they did all of last year?
Oh, it's there's a lot to be said, Tom. Just because you're paying money and if these players don't gel, and if pitching lets you down, and whatever else could possibly happen, things happen. Tom, take over for a minute. I gotta read this real quick.
Yeah. So to me, guys, I get the gel, the chemistry, all of that, but you basically brought back the same team, but you added Soto, and you score less runs, you win I don't know how many fewer games, and you don't even make the playoffs. That's a big collapse. Now, who should pay the price? Should anybody pay the price for this? I think somebody's got to pay the price. I don't know if it's the pitching guru, the guy who, the pitching lab guy. I don't know if it's the hitting instructor. I don't believe that Mendoza deserves to get fired. All right. It's close, though. I would tell you he's on a major hot seat next year. Think about it, guys. In the past 2 years, last year, the first half of last year, the Mets were a disaster. From June last year till June of this year, the Mets may have been top 3 baseball team in all of baseball. And last year, second half, they were probably the best team in baseball. Had they run into any other team but the Dodgers, they probably played in the World Series last year. Maybe not winning it. I have no idea. But they probably make the World Series. And the first half of this year, the Mets, I thought, were top 2 team, maybe top 3 at worst case. Phillies were right there. I thought the Dodgers have played great. The Brewers have been fantastic. So you can go a lot of ways. But from June till now, the Mets have been an absolute embarrassment. Well, first off, Rob, here's the thing. When have the Yankees fallen on their face? They haven't had a losing season since 1992. 1992. They've made the playoffs, I think, 9 out of the last 10 years, and I think 19 out of the last 20, something ridiculous. So take the Yankees out of the equation. They haven't fallen on their face. As far as the Giants go, every 2 years, somebody's paid the price for it. So I'm with you. And I don't think that the manager should pay the price for the Mets. But if you bring in, if you're 2 games from the playoff, from the World Series last year, and the first 6 months of this year, or the first half of this year, you're top 2-3 team in baseball, and then all of a sudden, not only are you losing, but you can't pitch, you can't hit, especially in the clutch. You play terrible defense. Your base running is atrocious, and you don't make the playoffs. Somebody's got to pay a price for that. Now, you show me where the Yankees have that, and I'll go with you. But you can't show me a spot where the Yankees are falling on their face. This is a team that hasn't had a losing season. Forget anything else. How many World Series they won in the last 30 years? How many times they made the postseason in the last 30 years? They haven't had a losing season in close to 30 years. It's more than 30 years. So,
The Yankees?
yeah.
The Yankees were a disappointment in their own right, though, man. Come on.
No. Here's the difference. I agree with you that I've been saying it for the last 5 or 6 years that I think this Yankee team needs to be changed because we get to the postseason winning 90 games, hitting 300 homers a year, and then we can't score 5 runs in the playoffs. So I'm with you. I think there's a problem there. But I'm not putting the Yankees and the Mets in the same category right now. That it's a different category. What happened to again? This is a team that brought in one of the best hitters in baseball and scored 2 less runs this year. Do you know the Mets when they entered the 9th inning losing? When the Mets entered the 9th inning losing, they were 0-70. Not once did the Mets come back in the 9th inning and win a game.
I will. I mean, listen, stats are stats, and they tell a lot about a team and everything else. But the one thing I say, Juan Soto, and you know that I'm not a baseball guy.
I got you.
Juan Soto spent a majority of his career in the National League, came over to the American League for 1 season, and then went back over to the National League. So you can't even say that he had an adjustment period of adjusting from the American League to the National League, and especially the way that they play baseball now. It's a completely different situation than it was 10 years ago. Before interleague play started, or a little bit more, however long interleague play has been in play for. But now with a DH in both leagues and everything else, they're pretty much the same. It's just the teams play in different cities.
Yeah,
it's not even that much of an adjustment period.
It's not, and he shouldn't be. And again, Soto had a great year.
He could end up hitting 50 home runs. No.
Listen, the guy had 40 homers this year. The guy hit 280s, I guess, something in that range. Juan Soto had a good year. My problem for what Juan Soto was, he dogged it in the beginning of the year at the very least, and might have dogged it a good part of the year. I think he dogged it at the end of the season on a couple plays that Frankie disagreed with me on, but that's okay. I also don't think he ever had big stretches where he carried the team. He just never had big stretches.
Flat in the beginning of the season for how long, and it carried over to what? Almost the summertime.
Yeah, and at this point, and you're 100% right. And they still were a great team. They still were one of the best teams in baseball at that point, even without him being as good as he can be. And Matty, you're right. I think at this point, other than him, I think Lindor is probably safe. I think he's overpaid, but I think he's pretty much the heart and soul of that team. But as far as Vientos, Beatty, Maurizio, I don't think there's many guys on that team. Diaz maybe. So Soto, Diaz, maybe Lindor. I think everybody else is expendable. And I know everybody wants Alonso to come back. I know he had a good year, decent year. But how many more decent years are you going to get? And he's not signing another 1-year deal or another year with two options. He's going to get a deal from somebody stupid. Is going to give him a 3 to 5 year deal for good money. Do you want him back? That's a big question. And I don't agree that he didn't carry the team, Frank. What? Tell me the stretch. I'm not talking about a game here, a game there. I'm talking about a 2, 3, 4 week stretch where he just couldn't get out. He carried the team. They were, he had him on his back. When they were playing well, he wasn't hitting. He wasn't. And it was Lindor. It was Alonso. Pete carried the team for a few weeks. That's the stretch I'm talking about. Yes, he played well in the second half. Yes, he had a good statistical season, but I never felt like he said, hey, guys, we're playing bad. Don't worry. I got you. I'm going to light it up for you. That's the difference.
Well, what did he finish with? About 45 home runs?
I think it was 40. Just past 40. Yeah, I know. I can't. And yes, Frankie, I agree. I think Schwarber would be the guy if I were them, and I could go get one guy. I would think that would be no doubt, no brainer. Schwarber to replace Alonso. Yeah, that would be seismic. If you guys could make that happen, that would be if he's going to throw it all out there. That's what Cohen's going to do. But there's still too many other problems on this team that need to get fixed. And listen, the Yankees are not dude. But somebody said something before about signing Soto and the Yankees. I said from the beginning, I would have been happy if the Yankees signed him, but I said he was going to the Mets. And to be honest with you, I was happy they didn't. I didn't want to spend all that money on one guy. And in his place, we got Fried, who had 19 wins this year. Bellinger had a good season, a really good season, and he's a great outfield and a lot of flexibility. Next year's team, if they could bring him back with Soto, with Garrett Cole and Fried, Rodon, this kid Schlitter, Cam Schlichter, whatever his name is. This is the Yankees have the makings of a really good pitching staff next year. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Frankie, if you can get Schwarber and Bellinger, you change the whole outlook of that team. You would absolutely. I agree. Maddie, I agree with you. Soto did not make any impactful plays. I'm telling you, he had a good statistical season, but you can't point to me to a 2-week stretch where he was unbelievable and he was rescuing the Mets the whole way through. Or he was tearing it up and they won a bunch of games because of him. He's a good player. He's a good second banana. He's just not a top guy. He's not the guy. He needs a Judge. He needs a player of that ilk in front of him. And then he's a great complimentary second banana. That's how I look at it. Again, I'm not discounting what the Yankees did. I'm happy with the Yankee season. Could they have done better? Yeah, they had a long stretch in the second half where they played shit baseball. So I'm not, but they made the playoffs, Frank. They made the playoffs. They're playing tonight, you know, and you guys went out, and all I heard not from you, but from a lot of Met fans, oh, the Yankees the Mets stole Soto. The Yankees are the little brother. Ha, ha, ha. How's it look from the golf course, guys? How's it look from the golf course? Let me know how Juan Soto's doing.
And I had to look for myself because I had to see before I said anything. So the Yankees had the same record as last year. So what? It doesn't matter. They didn't get any better, but they didn't get any worse, and they won 94 games, and they're in the playoffs again. Like I said, I'm not a baseball guy. I don't watch it that much. I don't pay attention to it other than through the papers and what I see on ESPN. But their overall success as an organization can't be overlooked. They're a team, just like when we talked to John and a couple others about the Steelers, and they always complain about the Steelers, but the Yankees are always mentioned in the mix for October.
Yeah. That's what you're asking. As a fan, what more do you want? I just want to be – now, again, after a while, I say it's useless. I want them to flip the team around and get me some different players and change the culture and the philosophy and maybe get past where we're. But the Yankees were just in the World Series last year, Jeff. It's not like they haven't been to the World Series in 20 years.
Well, listen, not for nothing. They won the World Series last year, but it was almost 20 years since the last time they were in the World Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Frankie, any Yankee fan who says that they would be better, they wouldn't be better off with Soto as part of the team is crazy. But having said that, if the Yankees bring back Soto, they don't sign Max Fried. They probably don't sign Bellinger. So, Garrett Cole goes out. Who's going to be the guy? So I said from the beginning, I would be happy if he came back, but I was more thrilled that he left because they were able to get Goldschmidt, who had a decent year. Ben Rice was able to play a lot more, and he had a terrific season. Bellinger had a good season for the Yankees. Fried was fantastic.
I understand your point, but you know what? Last year, the Yankees finished in first place. This year, they had the same record, and they finished tied for first place. So, I mean, overall, while I understand what you're saying, I understand what Tommy's saying too. By not signing one player, they fill two needs, which, all right, they're still playing. They're still in there playing. I'm not saying they're going to get to the World Series this year, but, they're definitely a couple steps closer to being in the World Series this year than a lot of other teams in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. And Matt, I agree with you. I told you when it happened, I thought that Jerry Jones did the right thing. You can't pay everybody. His mistake was he shouldn't have paid Dak, and I would have paid Parsons, because I think Parsons is a better player. But the truth is, honest truth is, Parsons has had no real big impact games. Look at his record against teams with good records or in a big spot, and he's nowhere to be found. So I think Jerry got a good haul back, couple of number one picks, and Clark. I thought he did a good job, Jerry Jones, for a change, and I'll give him credit where it's due. I think that was a smart move, and he frees up some cap. Unfortunately, he stuck with Dak, and that's his bigger problem.
Listen, he as far as that goes, right? The Cowboys paying Dak.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get paid by the Cowboys, somebody else in the NFL is going to pay him the same exact money.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's worried that they're letting a quarterback slip through their fingers.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. The NFL has overpaid quarterbacks, but everybody thinks that they're going to find the next great player.
Yeah, that's very true. The problem is, you have to make that decision early, whether you're going to lock your guy up or you're going to get to a point where you don't draft a guy, you can't find the next guy, and then you got to pay the guy you have a lot more money than you really want to. And that's what happened to them.
Well, listen, there's already been teams that have done that throughout, the NFL the last few years. And we see it every year. There's somebody that's getting paid money that maybe shouldn't be getting the money that they were getting paid.
That's the nature of the league, unfortunately. That's just, and I think you brought it up, and I always thought it was a good idea that quarterbacks should have their own salary cap. There should be its own entity because it robs so much money from the regular salary cap that you just can't field a decent team if you're going to pay your quarterback $50 or $60 million a year.
Well, let me ask you something.
Yep.
I wasn't me that said that, by the way, as far as that goes. But not important. We each own a team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm building a defensive team. And I want to make sure that I'm winning games 17-3, 17-10. Okay. Although we've talked about this before, so we know which way we're going.
Yep.
You want to build an offensive juggernaut. And now you got everything in line. You got a great offensive line, you got great receivers, great running back. You need a quarterback. Okay. So now you're going to spend what you're going to spend because you think that you have an offense that's going to go out and win games 43 to 35 and win games, big numbers like that. You're not going to care about if you win and you make the Super Bowl, you're not going to care what you're paying a quarterback. I understand your point. Don't get me wrong. And I agree with you. There should be something in place. But if you're an owner, I don't mind if you go out and spend $50, $60 million on a quarterback.
No, of course not.
Maybe we're in the same division and maybe I'm going to be able to pick up the right player that, is going to end up being better for me and push my team over the top. So you have a better quarterback. Yeah. But, I got secondary. I got linebackers. When I play you, I've beaten you twice a year for the last 3 or 4 years, and you just don't know. You're trying to beat me, but it just can't happen. And it's just they're spending the overall expenditure in the NFL is insane. Not just the quarterback. I mean, Tyreek Hill, $25 million to sit at home.
Yeah,
was the way they structured the contract. Just a few years ago, quarterbacks were getting $25 million, and we're like, wow, that's a lot of money. Now this kid's getting $25 million to sit at home. How is his team supposed to manage?
I don't know. Yeah, that is always a big thing. Filling out your roster. See, the problem is teams get so top heavy that you can't afford to have good. Back in the day, Jerry Rice had John Taylor. John Taylor could have been number one receiver on a lot of teams. Dallas had Michael Irvin, and they had Alvin Harper. Alvin Harper could have been the number one receiver on a ton of teams. But at the time, you could pay both of those guys because there was no cap. Today, you couldn't have that. You couldn't have Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin on the same team. Because
not for long term.
No, again, if you got them as rookies or within a year or two of each other, yeah. But otherwise, you look at Dallas. You're paying CeeDee Lamb and you're paying Dak Prescott, and then you couldn't pay a third guy big money.
By the time these guys get together, play, and start to gel, somebody is on the way out or somebody's contract could be renewed, and then it costs them a lot of money. And Frank Catalano, to counter your point, right? Maybe if there was a salary cap, yeah, but these backup quarterbacks, whoever it is, Joe Blow, he relieved his starter in game 10 of the year, because he had a little shoulder tightness. So we went out and he was 7 of 8 for 65 yards and 2 touchdown passes. So now he's the next best thing come free agency, but that's the only body of work he has in the NFL. And somebody's going to try to catch lightning in a bottle and pay him money up the kazoo because they're like, well, this guy had a great quarter in week 10. I got to sign him because, scouts say he's great. So I'm going to give him whatever it is that he wants. I don't care. And these guys they're trying to get the next best thing, the next big thing. It's unfucking believable, man. Yes, Brock Osweiler is great. He ended up getting traded to a team so they could spend money on the salary cap. How bad is that? I never heard of that.
Yeah. I didn't think it was a little hooper from the media leading up to the game. Had 1 sack in a scrimmage back in the day. And it would have been
Let me ask you this, Tom. If you had the choice, right?
Yeah.
Parsons or you get a dark horse, say Joe Cloak.
Uh-huh.
Who would you take?
Well, Joe Cloak, because I've seen the destruction that Joe can do.
Yeah, and he definitely has CTE without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, Joe. No doubt. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe liver damage too, but definitely CTE.
No helmet for me. I'll just paint my head team colors.
Back to the Broncos. I saw it with Brock. Yes. I do want to get to the NFL and the Super Bowl and Bad Bunny. We didn't get a chance to talk. I want to talk about that. All right. So let's.
I'm glad they picked Bad Bunny. You know why? Because everybody thought Metallica was going to get in. Fuck them all.
Yeah. Well, I went back and looked at the last, call it 20 years of Super Bowl halftime shows. Can I go back to a time? Now, let me give you the last 10 years, Jeff.
How about going back to a time when halftime in the Super Bowl was you waited online to take a leak, get a second piece of sandwich, and you took your seating and the team was winning.
Yeah. What was the first? I'm trying to think back. I have to do a little research on it. When was the first time?
Matt.
See you, Matt. I want to know what was the first year that the Super Bowl halftime show became what it is today. I have to look that up.
I don't know. You know it or you don't know?
No, I don't know. I went back to 2005.
Well, if you went back to 2005, so you know it's before that.
Yes. So I went back to 2005. So I'm going to give you the last 10 years. See, my problem with it is there's no more diversity. And there's a big difference. If I give you the 20 years, if I give you 10 years from 2005 to 2015, and then give you 2016 forward, you'll see what I'm talking about. And what I mean is, it would be like, okay, so this year we're going to have Bad Bunny, whoever that is and why ever you're having it, I don't know.
What about Good Bunny?
Right. And then next year.
By the way, I'm sorry, before you go in, I got to say this while I remember it. I can't remember where I heard it, but they did say that Jay-Z is the one that's supplying the talent for the fucking halftime show.
Correct.
So there, that's going to show you there's a monopoly on it.
And that's where I was headed. But so they brought Jay-Z in to be the diversity guy and pick the music here's what here's a good wrestler. Yeah. All right. So here's the last 10 years.
Does he give one of these and one of those?
Yeah. He gives him one of these. I give one of those. I give some of these. Funniest fucking video. All right, so last year was Kendrick Lamar. The year before that was Usher. Before that was Rihanna. Before that, it was Dr. Dre, Snoop, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. Before that, 2021 was The Weeknd. Before that, 2020 was Shakira and J-Lo. Before that was Maroon 5. Before that was Justin Timberlake. Before that was Lady Gaga. 2016 was Coldplay. And 2015 was Katy Perry. So not much diversity, right? You're not, nobody in there is going to get the 45 to 65-year-old crowd excited about the halftime show. Would you agree?
Well, some of them got me excited. I mean, I don't mind looking at Shakira and Katy Perry and Rihanna.
Right,
I have no problem with that.
But you don't want to hear them, that's for sure.
No, that's why there's a volume button on the remote.
Okay, so now let's go back before that. So from 2014 back to 2005, you had Bruno Mars, Beyonce, Madonna, Black Eyed Peas, The Who, Springsteen, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Prince. Did you say The Who?
Yeah.
The Who played the halftime show.
2010. Yeah, the 2010 was the. So
Okay.
again, the Who, Springsteen, Tom Petty, Prince, the Stones, and Paul McCartney. So
Wow.
think about from 2005, you had McCartney, then the Stones, Prince, Tom Petty, Springsteen, the Who. I mean, it's a little bit of everything in there, but you're catering to the people who are your fans. After that, you get into this, and it gets worse and worse and worse until we got the Jay-Z era and all that. Now, my reason to bring that up is the NFL, for whatever reason, has brought on a guy who I think doesn't sing in English at all, canceled his tour in the United States because he's afraid that ICE is going to show up at his concert and arrest everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. Is a cross-dresser, I believe.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes. Is woke. And this is the guy who, the middle of our sport, is going to be the halftime entertainment. Now, am I going to watch the halftime show? I could care less. The minute the game goes to half, I'll flip to the the doggy bowl. I'll go do something else. But to me, it's to the point now where people are begging the NFL to put Creed in the Super Bowl halftime show. That's how bad it's got. I believe he's a cross-dresser. I believe he does wear.
Well, I just looked it up real quick, and it says here NFL chooses cross-dressing left-wing activist from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a Frankie. He's a cross-dresser. He is.
And to be honest with you, I don't care what he chooses to do and everything else. And I don't care who plays the halftime show. I don't need to see a halftime show.
Correct.
I would rather it's all about all about football.
Yep, I agree. To me, I couldn't agree with you more. But if you're gonna jam it down, here's the thing. It's easy. We turn it off. But it would be nice for a change for the NFL to say, hey, we're going to put, Judas Priest out there. It's never going to happen. I'm just throwing a name out there. Or, hey, we're going to put Eric Church or Morgan Wallen or some country star out there who half the country loves. Why
No
are we?
matter who you get as a halftime show, somebody is going to cry and complain about it.
Jeff, I agree with you. But my point is, why not this year it's Bad Bunny and next year it's Morgan Wallen
I don't know who either one is.
I'm just saying, what I'm saying, Dick, why does it all have to be geared to one ethnic or one set of
first of all, the whole entire NFL
Creed's gay, Matt.
is getting that way. And what year did Colin Kaepernick pull his stunt?
16.
Isn't that the first year you said?
Oh yeah, Jay-Z took over right after that. I think like 17.
Yeah, well that's awfully strange. If you remember, Jay-Z was connected with the NFL at that point in time with Kaepernick. It's a bad time. It sucks. Besides, music sucks right now anyway.
No, and I listen. It's like people complain about the Grammys. And I say I got it, but who's putting out music? That's who they want to put on TV. I get it. They're the ones winning the awards, so I get that. But all I'm saying is, I watch the NFL. You watch the NFL. Matt watches the NFL. There's a lot of people watch NFL. All I'm saying is everybody should get represented with the music that shows up at the halftime show.
It's
That's
impossible.
All. And they did it back in the day. They did it. One year you had Prince, you had Madonna, you had the Stones, you got McCartney. You did it every year. Everybody. I'm telling you, yes. If they brought out Creed, my sons would get up and shut the TV off and come back an hour later. That's fine. But one year, I wouldn't mind seeing one of my bands or somebody from my era pop up there to play music. That's my whole point. I know it's not going to happen.
I know what your point is, and I hear you, and I can agree with it to an extent. But you want to know something? Here's the whole situation. Just play football. Just do football. Do an extended halftime show. Tell us what's going on. Tell us who's the player of the game. Tell us, get into a little bit more in depth with that. I don't need to watch a band. I don't care. If I don't want to, but me, I don't watch the halftime show anyway. I start the Super Bowl off. My wife makes chili and a shrimp cocktail. It's just us there. Yeah. And I have that. And then I go back up at halftime and I reload to see a way over the course of the night. It sounds like a battlefield in my bedroom.
Yeah, Frank, I agree. To me, that's my point. make it about everybody and not just one sector of people. I'm sorry, it's annoying. Either way, I'm probably not watching. But you know what? How about this? How about having a mashup? Have a country artist and some new artist doing somebody else's music, and you kind of bring everybody together. Bring 2 or 3 artists out there.
Frank, what songs are Metallica going to play? Should they do Master of Puppets and maybe Creeping Death? Let's sing about cocaine and killing Jews. I'm sure that would go over pretty big.
Yeah, I'm not especially to the metal bands. I mean, you know what? Back in the day, you couldn't do it now because they're fossils. But AC/DC would have been a perfect halftime band. I think Van Halen did do it, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't go back far enough to check. I think Van Halen was part of during the Sammy era. I think they were part of the halftime show. But you could have had some decent, hard rock bands out there and had some fun with it. And then, bring in a Lady Gaga to sing with those guys. Bring in a couple of newer people to sing with some of the older bands, or bring in a singer from an older band. Bring what's his name, Mick Jagger, to sing with one of these newer people and have some fun with it. But it's never gonna happen. But to me, this Bad Bunny is a bad.
You do understand why they go the way they go.
I do, 100%.
In the back of the end zone, there's messages written on the back of their helmets. There's messages. It's not your daddy's NFL anymore.
No, I get it. But again, at the end of the day, we're the ones watching it every week. We're the ones, spending the money.
I totally understand that. But you know what? That money and that keeping certain people happy goes a long way. They don't care if you're happy. They don't care.
I thought you went to watch the football game. I thought you left. I thought you were gone already.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't care if we are happy. They want us to be upset anyway.
Yes, I get it. I certainly do get it. They're trying to appeal to the younger kids who aren't locked in like we are with fantasy football and betting and all that other stuff, and Madden leagues and all that other crap. But all I'll say is it's just annoying.
I'll be back, man. This lunch is making an appearance.
Go ahead. But yeah, to me, the Bad Bunny thing is just a bad optics for a lot of reasons. And I gotta tell you, if this is not the right Super Bowl, you'll lose me at some point. I won't watch. I'll shut it off and not come back if it's one of those Super Bowls. Hopefully, it won't be. But Super Bowl was when Kiss on the field before the game and the Broncos beat the Falcons. I was at that game. I was there. I was on the field. I was there when Kiss practiced. That was a lot of fun. And I think Kiss was before the game, and I think Cher was halftime. If I'm not mistaken, there was a couple different artists, and that's fun. Get a couple different artists, put 2 people together that don't belong together, and let them sing each other's songs and have a little fun with it. Maybe you bring everybody together a little bit. But this Bad Bunny stuff is this Bad Bunny thing is just horrendous. So again, Hard Rocket Sports. That's Jeff, and I'm Tom. We're here every Thursday night, 7 to 9. We've been beating up on the Mets a little bit. I'm gonna come off of that. But final thing for the Mets: somebody got to pay the price. Now it could be players. Now maybe it's Frankie. That's fine too. I'm not a big fan of Miley Cyrus, but yeah, you could drag a Miley Cyrus out there and put her with Anthrax or I don't know, even Wolfgang's Mammoth Band. Something where you drag in a couple different sectors and you put them all together and you have some fun with it. But back to the Mets. Somebody's got to pay the price. Somebody has got to be, and it could be players. It could be a bunch of players. But the Mets cannot roll back next year with Nimmo and McNeil and Vientos and Alvarez. Alvarez is a farce. I'm not sure what you make of Senga at this point. I'm sorry, I can't help it, Finelli. That's the topic this week. What else would you talk about? If you're a sports fan in New York City, it's the Mets collapse. Now, if the Yankees lose next week, it'll be beating up on the Yankee time. But this week, the Yankees are playing. They're still in it. They just started. So I can't beat up on the Yankees. I got to beat up on the Mets. The Jets, I'll wait for Jeff to come back, and we're going to get into the Jets and all of that next. And we'll finish up the show with the Jets and a little Jaromir Jagr. Something like this. By the way, anybody who doesn't vote for Aaron Judge as MVP is a complete moron because Cal Raleigh had a nice season as a catcher, switch hitter, 60 homers. It's really good. I don't, no doubt about it. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. Oh, no, it's not even close. I would absolutely listen. I've beat up on the Yankees plenty of times on this show. Plenty of times. And again, I said it before the season. I'll say it now. If the Yankees don't win the World Series, you got to strip this roster down. I don't like Boone, but if you're going to get rid of Boone, Cashman's got to go, and I want the philosophy changed. I want people to come in here and toss out the analytics. I think it was a terrible move in hindsight that they pulled Fried out of that game. He was pitching well. I would have left him in there until he got in trouble. I would let him go one more inning or another 20 pitches, and that would have been it. And there was no way in the world I would have made that move at that point. I defended it. But to me, I got no love for Aaron Boone. I'm done with Cashman and his analytical style. I hate it.
For them to move on from Cashman. He's been there, almost 30 years.
More. He's been there. Let's see. No, not quite there. 97 he took over, I believe. Yeah. 97 or 98 was his first year. So, yeah, he's right up on that. I like when he beat up on Black and Sabbath. Well, he did get tuned up this week, so I can beat up on them. I already beat up on the Black and Sabbath. Let's talk about speaking of beating up, let's talk about the Jets. And,
there's really nothing to talk about. They're a bad team. Oh, no, hear me out. They're a bad team that doesn't even look like they know what end is up. Justin Fields can't throw the ball. They didn't do enough. Everything that Aaron Glenn preached about, stop the penalties, stop this, stop that, is still happening. Aaron Glenn, at the end of the last week's game, sitting there pouting, was, maybe he should refrain from doing certain things himself, and take control of the team.
Yep.
His shtick about watching game films and everything else after the game when they're interviewing him is getting old, and it's only week 4.
Yep.
And you're not doing anything at all to change the team. Me, if I was him, yes, well, guess what, guys? We're going to lose this week. You know why? Because you are benched. You're healthy scratches. You had 3 penalties. You had 2, and you had 3. So you guys just go over there. Don't even worry about this week. Maybe next week. And we're shaking up the team. I need to know who I can rely on and what I got here. And right now I know that with you guys, for example, is penalties. I told you that we're not going to take this no more. And until he steps up and he does that, it's just going to be the same shit. There were some stupid penalties that I've seen this season so far.
Oh yeah.
Stupid fucking penalties.
Too many penalties. And Jeff, you couldn't be more right. The problem, and the only thing I'll give him is if he benched everybody who made a stupid mistake, he'd have nobody to play.
Well, you know what, Tom? If you did it in week 2.
Yes, okay, I agree.
So let week 1 go by. If you did it from week 2 on, then you know what? By week 4, you would say, okay, so you had 5 penalties this week. That I could handle, that I could take. And then none of them were personal fouls. Maybe somebody, all right, that Garrett Wilson pass interference penalty, really? That was a bit much, no?
No, I don't disagree that I think they got hosed on a few plays. I don't disagree at all. The problem is Aaron Glenn sets up every week, and instead of getting pissed off and saying, I'm not going to accept this, they say, hey, coach, same old Jets. And he goes, it's not same old Jets. We're different now. We're working toward, you're same old Jets. Too many penalties, too many turnovers. You have a quarterback who can't throw the football, right? You have a defense who can't make big plays. You give up too many points.
But the deal I feel with Justin Fields is this, okay? If the Jets got the ball first and they scored a touchdown, then their defense went out and they held the other team 3 and out or short drive, no field goal, no nothing. Yep. They punt the ball. The Jets get the ball back again. They march the length of the field. Now they're up 10-0, 14-0. Okay. Now you could relax just a little bit and you don't have to worry about throwing the ball much. Now you have a couple different guys that could run the ball that you could concentrate on eating up the clock and running the ball, but it's not working. it's not working. You have to be able to throw that ball. It's a must.
Yeah.
And until they get a quarterback, that offensive line can do whatever they want. But if the guy can't throw the ball, what's the point?
Well, you don't even need to be able to throw the ball, but you have to be able to threaten people to throw the ball. And that's the problem, is nobody's afraid of Justin Fields.
You're 1,000% right. But you want to know something? What you just said is basically, it's kind of wrong. Because if they say that you could threaten to throw the ball, okay. I'm pissed off at FedEx. I'm going to go blow up a FedEx building, but you know that I don't have no bomb and I'm not going anywhere now. It's too late. I'm not going out at this time of night to go blow up a building. That's not going to happen. I'll be in bed in a half hour. But it's the point that a threat, they need to be a bona fide, they need to be real. They need to be more than just a threat. They need to be able to see this team go out there and throw a pass once in a while and be accurate about it. It has to happen. It's just not going to happen you can't have a threat when you have one wide receiver. You can't do it. You can't do it.
No, I'm with you. But again,
African kid number 2.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Joe?
I think that's how Joe's named him now. Yeah.
I think your CTE is shining through, bro.
Hold on, sideline.
Right.
Yeah, dude. All right. This annoys the crap out of me. I'm sorry, and you're gonna tell me, you're making too big a deal out of it. But this,
let's see what you have to say.
I'm gonna show you a quick video. This annoys me. This is the head coach of your football team on a spot where you didn't just win the game. It was a big play, okay, but you didn't win the game, and this is your head coach. How he
extra point for the lead. You bet Aaron Glenn is happy. He's running a 4.5 right there, Kenny, chasing down Will McDonald for that touchdown. Man, the Jets trailed.
That's your head coach. That's your head coach.
Let me ask you something. Was that the Will McDonald fumble recovery?
Yes, for the yes.
Okay. Now, hear me what I'm about to say. While an exciting play, exciting defensive play by a defensive-minded coach and everything else, he got a little excited. Do I personally like it? No, I do not. I don't think that the warden should react like the inmates do.
100%.
100%. Sit there, high five a few players, have a smile, get a year on. When you are in the locker room and there's no cameras and you want to do that, that's fine. But right now, the best thing for you to do is just wait for him to come on the sideline, hug him, kiss him, tell him he did great, go sit down, get some oxygen, do what you got to do. When the game is over and you're in the locker room and you want to do that, that's fine.
That's my point. Yes.
You need to be up here, not here.
Yes, that's my point. If that was the game-winning play, you made this dramatic play, you blocked the kick, you returned it, you won the game. I almost see it. I can almost, all right, you kind of lost yourself in the moment. It's a big win. Got it. That didn't win you the game. So, to act like that, to me, is just, you're the head coach. You're not one of the players. You're the top guy. You have to show a little bit of, and Frankie's right, that is the Lions' way, and I get it, but that's why the Lions haven't made it to the Super Bowl, because their head coach is a cheerleader and not a coach. He's a cheerleader. He's a culture guy. He's not an X's and O's guy, and that's why he's failed to make the Super Bowl. So with a very talented roster, and that's probably why they won't make the Super Bowl with him as head coach. And until he changes his ways. And when I saw that from Aaron Glenn, and I said, we're back to the Rex Ryan days. Pretty soon he's gonna have a Justin Fields tattoo on his arm.
If you think the fans in Detroit give a fuck about what Dan Quinn does or whatever his name is,
Dan Campbell,
what Dan Campbell does, they don't. That team has been worse than the Jets.
Oh, absolutely.
How long?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Whatever he does, whatever he says, they're gonna love, because they finally win in some games. They're finally relevant.
100%.
Okay, just like most fans would be happy if their team is relevant. Okay?
Absolutely, 100%. But Jeff, again, if you won the game, I get it.
Tom, no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
You can't argue this fact. You can't argue the fact. It's go out, play, win.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then go to
Celebration
the locker room, do all your dances,
Yeah.
celebrate any way you want. You lost the game, and in the middle of that, you look like a moron.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. It's hard
Yeah.
to argue.
That
I can't defend it. I can't defend it. It looks stupid. It was stupid. It did nothing for me. Okay. It doesn't get me cheered up. You know what got me going? Knowing that Will McDonald scored a touchdown on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That got me going. I'm watching Aaron Glenn do that stupid ass fucking dance.
Yeah. And I think there's some talent on that team, but so far you haven't changed the culture. You haven't fixed the things that have been broken. The quarterback still stinks. Right?
Stuff like that promotes bad culture.
Absolutely, 100%. Because if my coach can act like a moron, then I can act like a moron. Sorry, that I don't mind a coach getting excited. You should. Football, everybody should get a little pumped up. But to be running down the sideline and doing some stupid dance celebration that you did when you were a player 30 years ago doesn't do it for me as a head coach. And the problem is you're trying to change this culture of the Jets to be different, to be to show winning, that you have a winning philosophy. That does not promote winning philosophy. We blocked the kick and we returned it for a touchdown and we lost the game, but I'm still going to dance on the sideline.
Well, I believe that play put them ahead at the time.
I agree with you. And if that play had put them ahead to win the game, I'd say dance all you want, take your clothes off. I get it. It's a big W.
I think they actually lost with like a minute and something.
Yes.
Minute and change left.
Right. So to me,
something I had no problem with him reacting. I had no problem with him running down the sideline.
Right.
Okay. Once that stupid dance started, then I got a problem. That to me was just fucking stupid.
I couldn't agree more. And the problem is you're trying to change the culture. You're trying to fix it. So to me as a head coach, okay, we got a minute left. We're ahead. I should be thinking, okay, what's next? What do we have to do to finish and close this game out? Not let me do some stupid dance down the sideline. That's the shitty part of that whole thing. You're the head coach. You're not the defensive line. You're not the defensive coach. You're not the special team. You know who should have been dancing like that? The special teams coach. Because his player made a big play, and now, okay, he can do that. The head coach can't do that. The head coach has to be, okay, boys, let's settle in. What do we got to do next? What are we doing? How are we kicking off? We kicking it deep. We kicking it short. What kind of defense we're going to play? That's what's the clock? How many timeouts? That's what the head coach should be thinking about. And that's why this guy will not.
Not for nothing, the special teams coach should have been thinking about the same shit.
I agree.
You're about to fucking fend on the lead.
Yeah.
You have to defend the lead.
I
agree.
I agree with you. The head coach should not be that guy. Yes, I agree with you. The player comes off the field, you grab him, you high five him, you give him a hug. Great play. Okay, guys, how many timeouts we got? All right, guys, how many timeouts they got left? Okay, what are they going to do? What do they say? What's the game plan say for them? That's what should have been happening, and not dancing down the sideline in some celebration for a game that you wind up losing. It's just a bad.
Like I said, to me personally, if you want to celebrate, you want to run down the sideline and everything else. You celebrate the play. You pump your fist.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys coming off the field, you slap them on the helmet and you move up, and then you're thinking as you're doing this, you're thinking, what's going to happen now? What am I doing now? I got to protect this lead. We got to win this game. This is a winnable game. But see, now here's the thing with the Jets too. Okay, 4 games, three times. That team could be 3-1 right now.
Absolutely, sure could be.
Could be 3-1. They just don't have the killer instinct. They don't. Sorry.
And yes, I agree. And again, I'm not expecting this guy to walk in here this year and take them from 5 wins last year to 10 or 12 wins this year. It's possible, but it doesn't happen often. What I want to see is less penalties, less turnovers, more fluid on the offense, and a hungrier D. And I ain't seen none of that yet. You have been embarrassed out there as far as making stupid plays. You cut a player after the first week because he fumbled on a kickoff, and now I've watched a ton of players make dumb mistakes. I saw Brandon Allen fumble at the goal line, going in to score a touchdown. There's too many dumb plays, and you've shown nothing has been turned around at all. There's not one thing right now that you could tell me the Jets are better than they were last year at.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Yes,
There's
Justin Fields wasn't
nothing
that
that there's nothing that you know that'll just there's nothing to say.
Yeah,
Nothing to say. This is a team that's going to struggle to win 4 games.
yeah. At this point, yeah, it would be a traumatic turnaround. They get the Cowboys this week, and both teams are desperate for a win. I mean, I would almost bet the farm on the Cowboys, but I have this feeling the Jets are actually going to win this week. I think the Jets, being at home and in desperate need, I think the Cowboys secondary sucks.
I think the Jets quarterback sucks. You can have me in the secondary of the team. I think you won't have to worry.
Yeah, I think there's a chance the Jets could sneak one here. But if I was betting this, I bet the farm on the Cowboys because the Cowboys are desperate for a win. They cannot lose another game and stay relevant right now. And the Jets, they just haven't shown me anything. My problem is, Aaron Glenn wants us up there and say, it's not the same old Jets. Yes, you are. Until you're not, you are the same old Jets. Jeff, I mean, am I wrong? If you went out there and you lost these games by a point, but you played flawlessly. You only had a couple penalties, no turnovers. The other team was just a little better. And you go, hey, this ain't the same old Jets. They're getting there. All right, they lost the games, but these guys, most of these games, they're not even. They're either shooting themselves in the foot or they're not competitive.
Listen, they lost to the Steelers by 2 points. Then they went and played the Bills. They got annihilated by 20 points. Okay, I could see that.
Yep.
They lost to the Buccaneers by 2 points. The Dolphins game, that's a little different. 27-21 Dolphins. They were down by 14 or 17 in the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They just happened to come back a little bit. Dolphins were without Tyreek Hill. You got Tua as quarterback.
Yeah.
So, the Jets came on a little bit. But you know what? The Dolphins were able to hold them off.
Yeah.
So, but could they could be 3-1? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could be 3-1. They're not. They are 0-4. And, right now they got the Broncos. They got the Cowboys this week. Broncos, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Patriots, Ravens, Falcons, Dolphins again. They have their schedule. If you look at their schedule, they could turn it around this week.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Cowboys, Broncos, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Patriots, Ravens, if Lamar is still hurt.
Yeah.
Falcons, Dolphins, Jaguars, Saints, Patriots, and then they end up with the Bills. They could win some of those games, a majority of those games.
Listen, I said before the season I thought the Jets could win 7 or 8 games.
Nah,
but not if you're not going to change the way you're playing football. It's again one thing to get beat and say, okay, we haven't clicked yet. You're killing yourselves with penalties, Joe Cook, right? And you're killing yourselves with turnovers and with bad quarterback play. I don't know. At some point, they're going to either have to make a decision to go to Tyrod Taylor, who I'm not in love with, but he definitely put on a better showing so far, or go outside the organization and bring another quarterback in, because what I've seen from Justin Fields for the most part is he doesn't even look like a pro quarterback. He doesn't even look like he can throw a football in a game anymore. And listen, there's a reason why he got ran out of Chicago. There's a reason why the Steelers didn't re-sign him. I thought it was a stretch that the Jets gave him a 2-year deal, but I understood that they were trying to cash in on his athleticism. It hasn't worked so far, but he hasn't been terrible running with the football. Problem is that you're a quarterback, you got to throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah, listen, you have to be able to toss the ball. If you can't, you're not doing it.
Yep.
Forget it. You're a one-dimensional team. When you're down by, in the second half and you're down by double digits, they know that you're not going to pass to come back.
Yep.
This isn't Madden.
Nope.
You could run, like at any second, run an 85-yard running play and hope that you hold the team. You have to be able to do these things. And running football just takes too much time. They don't have it. They're not a good team. They're not a good team. That's it.
I agree. Next thing I would also say is the Giants, great win last week. Defense showed up, a little bit of special teams. I think they actually had 2 interceptions, one nearly for a touchdown. Again, good running of the football. I think Scatterbo had 90 yards. All terrific. You cannot go to New Orleans this week, one of the worst teams in the NFL, and shit the bed. The Giants have to win this game. At the end of the day, it's not going to make them make the playoffs, but this is a team that the Giants have to beat if you're going to say they're getting better. If I come on here next week and the Giants have lost, anything I said this week, it means shit. So the Giants cannot have a moral victory. They cannot have we just got beat on a bad play. The Giants have to go to New Orleans and kick the crap out of that team because the Giants have more talent than that team, and the Giants need to win the game. I don't know if they'll win it. I picked them to win this week, but they have to win this game. You get the Eagles, the Broncos, and the Eagles after that. The Giants have a very tough schedule. At best, I think you can go 1-3 in that spot. At worst, you could go 0-3. So, to me, get this win against the Saints. Maybe you steal one against the Eagles. Maybe with the Broncos flying across country, you steal a game. I don't know. But steal one of those Eagles games and then set yourself up after that. But this week, Jeff, if you're the Giants and you lose to probably, if not the worst, the second worst team in the NFL, you've accomplished nothing to date.
No, I agree, Tom. I hear you.
And I told you before the season, I don't care about wins. I'm expecting 5 or 6. I don't care, but I want them to be in every game, and so far they have been. They've had an opportunity to be in every single game. They kind of lost it a little bit in the second half of the Chief game. They had a chance in the first half of the Chief game to kind of put the game away, and Mahomes made a great play recovering his own fumble that should have been returned for a touchdown. But other than that second half, the Giants have been in every game. They should have beat the Cowboys. They were winning with 25 seconds left, and they found a way to lose. They were right there with the Skins in week 1. The Giants are had a chance to be 2-2 at best, or maybe 3-1 if you had a miracle. But 2-2 at this point, and a chance to go 3-2, I would have been ecstatic. But so go win this week. If you don't win this week, the last week was a waste of time. So
yeah.
I do want to get to that.
They're a young team.
Yep.
Okay. They definitely have some good players on the roster. It is what it is as far as they go. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just got to hope that this team is, built to learn and built to strive forward. But if this Dart experiment fails, I don't know, man.
Well, listen, what I've seen so far from the preseason and week 1, there's obviously a lot of room for improvement. But what you're watching is, listen, everybody ripped me apart about Daniel Jones, and I get it. He didn't have success here. But you watch him play in Indianapolis, and the guy is lit it up. So what it told me was, if you surround him with some talent, the kid has some ability to play football. I think Dart's got a little bit of that too. I like his moxie, and I like his competitiveness. Way too early to know whether he's a competent NFL quarterback. I have no idea.
Well, of course, he's got a ways to go. He played one game, okay? But now here's the thing: panic move, total panic.
Absolutely, 100%. I didn't like it. I told you I didn't like it.
I know there's people that are worried for their jobs.
Absolutely.
So what did they do? They don't want to get killed getting in their car at the end of the game.
Yep.
Okay, so they ended up they caved in after week 3.
Yeah.
And they made the change.
If you were going to make the change, you should have been Winston, not Dart.
I totally agree. But you want to know something? Maybe what they should have done with Winston, with Dart, put him in for mop-up duty. Game's out of hand, and just like, okay, look, let's go out there. Just go out there and have fun. We don't expect you to lead us back. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. Go out and have fun. Go out and have fun. They have a small playbook, which means that it couldn't have doubled. How much more could it have changed and expanded in a week's time?
No,
and the whole NFL knows that you're dealing with a limited playbook because you've been saying it.
Sure.
So, I understand it's It's a bad way to get going, but to me, panic move. I don't like it.
100. Jeff, I told you when it happened. We were talking about it, all of us, and I said I don't like the move. What you want is to have a real. When Eli took over for Kurt Warner, he had an established offensive line. He had good receivers. They were a decent team that just needed better quarterback play and had a couple of wrinkles. And he was able to grow and make the offense better along. Daniel Jones, some of these other guys who played quarterback for them, they didn't have that luxury. They had a bad team around them, and they weren't good enough to make them better. I'm hoping this kid
had Tom Brady on the Giants a couple seasons ago when Daniel Jones was playing for them.
Oh, absolutely.
It didn't matter. If you have no offensive line, no quarterback.
That's my point.
In the league,
agreed.
You had time to do anything. Cuts down on the running game. You would have to play dink and dunk football, 2 and 3 yard passes, 4 yard passes, and hope that you get 2 or 3 of them in a row to get a first down and keep moving the ball. And you know what? The league would have caught on to that real fucking quick.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's basically what it was. Daniel Jones was afraid to throw the football down the field.
Well, of course, he was afraid of getting killed.
Exactly right. And Joe, you're 100% right. But they win that game if that receiver doesn't fumble the ball trying to celebrate before the end zone. If that guy scores that touchdown, that game's probably over, and they win. And listen, hats off to the Colts, and hats off to Daniel Jones. He's played. I think I want to say up till the first 3 games they punted once. I don't think he's turned the ball over yet, and I'm not sure how many times they punted in the Ram game, and they could have beat that team. So are the Colts for real? I don't know, but they're playing pretty good football at 3-1. I think they got I don't know who they play this week. The Raiders, maybe. So that we'll see. The Colts headed toward a playoff team. We'll see if that keeps up the rest of the year. I'm not sure. But the Giants, to Joe's point, the Giants have to win this Sunday. You got to go out there at 1:00 in New Orleans, and you got to take it to the Saints. You cannot let Spencer Rattler come out there and light you up. You got to go out there and kick the living crap out of Spencer Rattler. And I like the way the defensive line's been playing. They've been putting a lot of pressure, not a lot of sacks, but a lot of pressure coming from those four or 5 guys. So keep it up. I want to get your Jaromir Jagr thing in there before the show ends. I did want to talk about
which was a pretty incredible stat, man.
Yeah, God, you want to bring that up? I mean, the guy's 55 years old.
He's starting to play in another season.
Yes. Like
but the bottom line is a former. What's that?
It's like his 35th season or something.
Yeah, a former teammate of Jaromir Jagr has been in the Stanley Cup Finals for 45 straight seasons.
That's crazy shit.
Okay, starting in 1980. Real quick, I'm not going to go every year. I'm just going to give the names. You got Brian Trottier.
Yeah.
Mark Messier, Joe Mullen, Messier again, Jerry Herdina.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Messier, Mario Lemieux, J.J. Dagenhart, Messier, Chorski, Scott Young, Doug Brown, Benoit Hogue, Scott Gomez, Chris Drury, Shanahan, Jay Pandolfo, Pavel Kubina, Mark Recchi, Sean Thornton, Andreas Leja, Pete Soroka, Chris Vertesteg, Mark Recchi, Willie Mitchell, Dan Corsillo, Willie Mitchell, Chris Vertesteg, Matt Cullen, Alex Chason, Brendan Schrain, Braden Colburn, Joe Merrill. This is an Olympic one. Andre Palat, they were teammates in the Olympics. And then Alexandra Barkov. All right, so now some of those guys, ain't going to lie, I stopped following hockey a long time ago. I just found that to be fascinating. 45 straight seasons. That has to be some kind of fucking record, man. It's just
and I just saw he's lacing him up, and I guess must be in Russia again. He's playing his 35th season. He's like 50-something years old. I mean, listen, all right, so for the time you watch hockey, where would you rank him? Okay, so let's say you're talking about mid-'80s, late '80s, through the '90s for you. It's
me, it was the early '90s, 91, 92, into the mid '90s and early 2000s. where would I rate him?
Yeah, like, okay, so you got Messier, you got Gretzky, you got Lemieux, you got Fedorov, you got Yzerman, you got Brendan Shatton. Where does he rank, in that crowd of players? Is he top 5?
At that time, I don't even know if I would have him in my top 10. You had Theo Fleury. You had all of the guys that were on the Edmonton Oilers that were throughout the league. Glenn Anderson, Mike Gardner. Well, no, Mike Gardner wasn't on the Oilers, I don't think.
No, he was a Minnesota North Star, then he was with the Rangers, and I think he finished up with the Capitals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you got some of these guys
Oh, yeah.
that were in the league at the time. Brett Hull.
Yeah.
Lindros. So many different guys that were in, and he was always the little brother to Mario Lemieux.
Yes.
So, you know what? That's why I asked you one thing. Would he be in the top 20? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely say he made top 20. He might break top 15, but to Jeff's point,
we'd have to think about that.
To Jeff's point, though, I mean, I go top 5 and he don't make it. I go top 10, he's not there. After that,
I mean, how's he topping Gretzky, Lemieux, Messier? Some of the names that we just mentioned, Yzerman.
Yeah.
Some of the other names that we mentioned. All right, maybe he tops Fedorov or is the same kind of player as Fedorov. But you know what? He was just an incredible. Now you look back at him, and then you have to ask the question: goes from would he have been a top 5, a top 10 player at the time, to is he one of the top 5 or top 10 players of all time at this point in time? When you look at his career, when you look back at his career, when he was actually playing, I mean, you would have to be insane to say that you wouldn't want him. But he took Adam Graves took a Ranger record, made it 52 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Jaromir Jagr. I think he got 53 or 54 with the Rangers.
I think so, yeah.
So like this was a guy that like
again, fantastic talent, and again, 55. He's still out there playing competitive ice hockey in a pro league somewhere. Where, even though it's the Russian league, but this is a guy who was a great player. I thought he was a great second banana to Lemieux. Definitely a guy that you had to worry about where he was on the ice. But to me, he wasn't those guys. Like I could never put him in that, and again, there's a lot of other guys that I'm sure I'm not thinking about I'm not even going back to the Guy Lafleur's days. I'm not even going that far. I'm going to use his time frame. Was he better than Mike Bossy? I would say the answer is no, not in my opinion. Mike Bossy, one of the best snipers I ever saw.
Just real quick, in his career, 766 goals, 1,155 assists, games played 1,733. All right. Real quick.
Is that current, Jeff? Is that counting everything right up to today, or is that end?
No, I'm assuming that was, throughout his career, which started in 1990. He played on the Penguins, went to the Capitals, played 3 seasons with the Capitals, played 4 seasons, including 3 82 games seasons with the Rangers, the Flyers, the Stars, Boston, the Devils for 2 years, the Florida Panthers for 3 years, and then he ended in 27-28 with the Calgary Flames. So if you go to his Wikipedia page,
I'm looking at it right now.
I don't think they had all of those teams listed. I didn't know, some of those like stats unfucking-believable.
Yeah, and you're right. You nailed it. 2005, 54 goals for the Rangers.
54. Wow. Yeah. 123 points.
Yeah.
123 points. That might have been the last time that was the last time he broke 100. And the time before that was in 2000, 2001 when he was with the Penguins.
Yep.
Here's a guy real quick, 94, not even going through all of it, but just the highlights, 94, 99, 140. You scored 140 points, 62 goals, 87 assists, playing with Mario Lemieux. I don't know if Mario Lemieux was the top guy that year. I would say no, probably not.
He might have been. I don't know. Also, was Lemieux. There was a couple years Lemieux had cancer and he was out, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't know if he was the top guy there. But I mean, could you imagine that? All those guys putting out those kind of numbers being on the ice together?
Yeah.
My God.
And Lemieux was on that team. He played. He played 70 games that year, 69 goals. Wow. Peter Nedved, 45 goals. Thomas Sandstrom, 35 goals. Really, he only had a couple big scorers on that team. But a guy, 161 points for Lemieux, 149 for Yager. Ron Francis had 119. Nedved 99. Some good players on that team.
He started playing in 1990-91, right?
Yep.
And he stopped playing. He only played 22 games in 2017, 2018 with the Capitals. But here's an amazing fact. You ready for this? Just hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 years out of those that he was either at 0 or minus on the plus minus. Everything else was always a plus every other year. That's big. That's big.
Yeah, sure is. How many championships does he have?
Well, I'm pretty sure that he won most of it with Pittsburgh.
I would think so. I'm on his page. International. Let's see.
And not for dude, he was a big boy, 6'3", 230 pounds.
He only won 2 Stanley Cups, 91 and 92, obviously with the Penguins.
Yeah, that's it. He might have been to the Stanley Cup other years.
Might have been. First-time All-Star, second-tier All-Star, Hart Trophy. So Hart Trophy is the MVP award, right? So only one Hart Trophy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I say only 2 championships. I mean,
but you know what? They happened very early in his career, and then he never won another one.
Nope. A lot of All-Star appearances, a lot of first-time or first All-Star team. But, I mean, listen, great career. I'd have a hard time ranking him because I think there were so many more impactful players. It's hard to say Brett Hull was a better player. I just, but, you can have that argument in there. Would I take Jaromir Jagr or Brian Leach in his prime? That's a tough conversation, right? We didn't even get to goalie.
No conversation there, man. I'm sorry. I got to fucking go with him, not Brian Leach.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even talked about goaltenders during that time. Like, guys like Brodeur, where do they rank in those categories as great players in the league? So, yeah, I mean, top 20, yes. Top 15, maybe. Top 10, I would say no for me.
Dude, we brought up Brett Hull, 741 goals, 650 assists.
And 750 goals. How many seasons?
Hold on. It looks like he started as a rookie back in 86, 87. Started playing pretty much full time in the late 80s, and he looks like his last game was in 2005, 2006 at 41 years old. And
so I mean, you said Yaga had 700 and something goals. So so I mean, we'd have to do a little bit more of a deep dive, and maybe we will at some point. But to me, there's a lot of guys. Again, right off the bat, you got Gretzky, Messier, Lemieux. He's not in that category, and then from there, you can start having conversations. I think for me, you start to bring him into the conversation. Is he better than Paul Coffey? Is he better than, some of those, Yari Curry? I'll take Yari Curry over just about anybody. There's, you start to have those conversations at 10 with him for me.
Well, listen, you know what? 54, 56 years old, whatever he is, he's still playing. A lot of these other guys probably can't even move at this point in time.
And I would definitely give him credit for that. But listen.
Hockey's definitely a young man's game, bro.
Oh, yeah. Listen, especially today with the speed these guys playing, as big as they are. I mean, these guys,
he's probably, not for nothing, he's probably playing, and I don't mean to use this word the way I'm using it, probably playing in a soft league.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt. He's not.
In the Czech Republic.
Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind. He's not out there banging bodies every night.
No.
He's probably hanging at the blue line. He's doing a lot of that stuff.
Don't be so surprised. I just don't think that a lot of these European leagues, the players used to leave those leagues to come to the NHL.
That's very true.
I would imagine it's still the same thing, but nonetheless, being in your mid-50s and still playing hockey, the NHL, you're playing at a high level in a foreign country. That does say something, man.
Oh no, I'm with you 100%. And I hope he plays until the wheels fall off. So I'm all for it.
I think the extended warranty is over. You know?
Yes, it is. But all right, so guys, that's it. That's 9:00. We're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks to Joe Cloak and Matt and Frankie Katz and everybody else. And I don't know what happened to the good doctor, but maybe he'll show up and get his medicine another time. But in the meantime, we're gonna bring this one to an end. Jeff, you got some shows coming up?
Yeah, October 18th at the Monahan House, and then mercifully we put it to sleep for the year. You know,
Taking it with you off.
Yeah, but next week I want your top 10. Let's make it top 15 hockey players.
You got it. I will. That's a good one. I'll put it on my list right now. Top.
So you too, Joe Cloak. Make sure you're here. Bring your top 15 with you.
Okay, you got
None
it.
of the Roseback boys either.
And by the way, I've got my first request for this year's song list for the for our jam, which is 3 months away.
From who?
Johnny Collins reached out and said, "Hey, how about a song list?" So it's a little premature, but it's not that far off to start talking about it. So
No. Listen, I'm glad to see that. So with this, we have 3 people.
yes,
Okay, what you need to do is start busting balls on Ronnie Mormino.
Ronnie Morms is in as long as we do it on the weekend. So
That's fine.
that's as long as we keep it to a weekend. I'll get Ronnie. We'll schedule it next year for Sunday. I think we might have to do it the Sunday before Christmas.
I'm looking at the calendar right now. The Sunday before Christmas would be the 21st.
Yeah, I think we'll have to shoot because there's a slight possibility that I might be away right after Christmas for New Year's. The Rangers are playing in the Winter Classic in Miami, or it's actually in Sunset in the where the Panthers play. And I live about 20 minutes. I want to be there. I'm thinking about going to that game. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. So anyway, there's a chance that I might not be here. So I want to try to schedule for the 21st. I'll put something out there.
The week itself beforehand is I'm not going to lie, it's going to be hectic because the 21st is the Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday, and then Christmas Eve is Wednesday. So and then Kwanzaa. Don't forget Kwanzaa is the 26th.
I got it. I'm just figuring if we did a Sunday night, most people probably don't have any major plans. 3-4 o'clock on a Sunday in December.
Well,
So again, I'm going to put it out there. If it doesn't happen that day, we have some options. I'd like to get it done while Father Bob's in town. I know he's in for those couple weeks.
Of course, I just want to play, man. I just want to play. I just want to go out, have a good time. Want to see everybody. I got a bottle of Gentleman waiting to go.
So I will put that out in the next week or two, and I will put out a rough draft of last year's updated song list, and we'll see what happens. But for now,
If you do that,
Yep.
make sure request new songs. Let's get some new songs going.
I'm with you. I'm all in. But what happens is I put new songs on there, and everybody shows up not knowing them, and we want to play in the old
I
songs.
know, but if the more new songs you put up there, somebody has to know some of them. That's what
I'm with you. And listen, I say to everybody, everybody throw out some of them. One year Paul Gill said, I want to do 100,000 Years by Kiss. Great, no problem. I went, I learned it, showed up. I said, Paul, it's 200,000 Years. Oh, I don't know it. So you put out a song and you didn't learn it. It's like, all right, dude, So I ask everybody, throw up a song. Everybody put up a couple songs, and we'll pick out 4 or 5, and we'll get some new ones in there, or maybe something that and somebody else knows. But if guys are going to put out songs and not show up and know it, I don't know what else to do. But either way, worst case scenario, there's always 10 or 12 of the old backup songs to play that everybody knows.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll see what happens. But for now, folks, we're going to call this a night. It's been a good show, a lot of fun. And we'll be back next Thursday night to do it all over again with Jeff and I. So make sure you stay tuned for the next chapter of the Jeff and Jeff's battle with FedEx.
I told my wife, I said, I want to fucking send the fucking thing back.
You're not going to send the thing back. We all know you're not going to send it back once it hits the fuzzy hands of yours. So don't worry about it. Put it out there. We're all looking forward to hearing about how you got it, when you got it. So we'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, we're gonna bring the show to an end. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight and listened, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. So for Jeff and myself and everybody here at Hard Rock Sports, we hope you have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, a great next week, and we'll see you back here next Thursday night when we do this all over again. So for Jeff, myself, and Jeff's little partner,
Yeah. My other one is sacked out on the bed.
we'll see you back here next Thursday night to do this all over again. Have a good one.
That's right. Cat. That's what I call a cat. No first name, just Cat.
Just Cat. I'll talk to you off the air, man.
All right, dude. Joe
Good night.
Cloak, you good, man.
Hey, Joey Cloak.
Later.